I can barely contain my excitement any longer. So, who got your back? I got your back. Seriously, that is a dope commercial by 2 Chainz, isn't it? Yeah, you can look it up online. Anyway, right, so we have the NFL playoffs today. It's wild card weekend, and I am pumped. Super pumped. But we gotta take one game at a time. Before I get into that, though, I do have a low and high act kind of. Let's see. Actually, let me fix my camera a little bit. There we go. Now, that's a little more even. Let's see. My low is obviously I'm still slowly but surely recovering from being sick, but that's okay. Take one day at a time. My high is the fact that I, throughout the course of the day, if I ever felt down or depressed, I did the smart and appropriate thing and talked to the 2 people who know me the best, my mom and dad, which, needless to say, they love and miss me and everything. And, so it was my act of kindness. Well, I did go and see them yesterday, and we're all sick at this point, so who cares, right? So we just had a simple, breakfast for dinner. I help set up the table and help put everything away. Actually, I'll talk about that right now. Good morning and happy Saturday, everybody. So for breakfast or dinner, it really wasn't much. We had buttered toast, some bacon, and I think I may have told you this whenever my mom does breakfast for dinner that she'll make like scrambled eggs, but she'll put like a whole bunch of stuff in it. This time she put onions, she put in ham, and she put in spinach. Very, very, very good for you. Scrambled eggs. So that was very nice. And we had some raspberry jam, some grape juice, some orange juice. Breakfast or dinner. That was nice. It was nice and a half. But enough of that, because we have some Super Bowl picks to make now, don't we? Now, before I begin this, let me lay down some ground rules. As I've done this the last 2 years, I have a right to reestablish the ground rules so everyone keeps up. Rule number 1, you actually have to be a team that is in the playoffs to qualify for this list. If your team is in the playoffs, congratulations, you made it to the playoffs. You could potentially be on this list, provided that I warned it so. Number 2 is this has to be a legit Super Bowl matchup, meaning there needs to be one representative from the AFC and one representative from the NFC. So none of this, Patriots versus Chiefs or anything like that. No, one team from the AFC, one team from the NFC, boom, done. That's what we do. And the third rule is the hype factor. I am looking for hype, narrative, story, something that's going to make not just me, but everyone in America say, wow, this game is a lot more significant than, just being the Super Bowl. And the Super Bowl is already a big game as it is. So that should tell you something right there. Like, maybe there's a player who has a story that's ending, or maybe there's a matchup or something along those lines. Who knows? All I know is that these are my top 11 Super Bowl picks that I want to see. Why do I go top 11, you might ask? Well, back when I was a young lad of my early 20s, I started watching Doug Walker, aka the Nostalgia Critic. And a recurring segment he would do on his videos were called Top 11s. And he went top 11 because he goes one step beyond. And so shall I for today. So, these are my top 11 Super Bowl matchups that I want to see. Hope you're ready. Now, before I want to preface this, there are a lot of things I kind of had to group together simply because it's either a rematch or, in the case of number 11, involves a very certain player. So with that being said, number 11, I went with the Pittsburgh Steelers versus the Field. What I mean by that is literally the Pittsburgh Steelers versus any team in the NFC in this year's Super Bowl. Each and every single one of those is going to generate hype to some degree. For example, the Steelers versus the Eagles, it'll be an all Pennsylvania Super Bowl. I hate both teams. So there you go. Let's see. If it was the Steelers versus the San Francisco 49ers, the hype along that line would be both franchises actually have among the most Super Bowl wins, yet neither one of them have ever faced each other. Very interesting. Let's see. The Steelers versus the Cardinals, it would be a rematch of Super Bowl 43. There's enough hype for you. Let's see. The Steelers versus the Rams, it would be a rematch of Super Bowl 14 that the Steelers won. Plus, Matt Stafford versus Ben Roethlisberger. There you go. And of course, I absolutely need to mention my Dallas Cowboys. Because this would be rematches of Super Bowl 10, 13, and 30. As well as a rematch of Dak and Zeke's rookie year matchup against the Steelers, which they won when Zeke rushed for over 250 yards rushing. Plus, a Prescott versus Ben Roethlisberger shootout? Yes, please. The Steelers versus the Buccaneers? I mean, all you need to know, it's Tom Brady versus Ben Roethlisberger. That is enough hype in of itself. Speaking of that, the Packers versus the Steelers, it'd be a rematch of Super Bowl 45, plus again, Rodgers versus Roethlisberger. Literally, if the Steelers should make it to the Super Bowl, it's going to generate hype for all those reasons. But one other determining factor, should the Steelers reach the Super Bowl, it could be Big Ben's last game. So, how fitting would it be if he went off into the sunset? It could happen. So, with that said, Steelers versus the Field, that's my number 11. Now, number 10 are the Las Vegas Raiders versus three specific teams. The Eagles, the Buccaneers, or the Packers. If it was against the Eagles, it would be a rematch of Super Bowl 15, which the Raiders won. If it was the Raiders versus the Buccaneers, it would be a rematch of Super Bowl 47, which they lost devastatingly after the whole John Gruden trade. He got the last laugh on that one. And finally, the Raiders versus the Packers would actually be a rematch of Super Bowl 2, which they also lost. So basically, the Raiders, with the ones that they lost against the Buccaneers and the Packers, they have an opportunity to make it a tie. Plus, a rematch against the Eagles wouldn't be a bad thing either. Of course, I'd root for the Raiders at that point. Okay, now number 9. This matchup was based solely on what is most likely to happen, and statistically, in a bracket like this, with both number 1 seeds getting byes, they would technically be the most likely to make it to the very end. That's why my number 9 are the Tennessee Titans versus the Green Bay Packers. They're both 1 seeds, making it, a matchup of what we're going into the playoffs, the 2 best teams going in. So why not have the best go against the best? Based on statistics, that is. So there you go. Now, number 8 is another one I had to group together. It would be either the Cincinnati Bengals or the Kansas City Chiefs versus the San Francisco 49ers. Against the Bengals, it would be a rematch of Super Bowl 23, which they won thanks to a miraculous drive, thanks to Joe Montana and Jerry Rice. In fact, Chris Collinsworth actually had a saying. After they got the lead, one guy walks up to Chris Collinsworth, who's on the Bengals. He said, "We're going to win this game." And then Chris Collinsworth was like, "Do you not see that number 16 and number 80, Joe Montana and Jerry Rice respectively, are out there?" So, yes, that would definitely be awesome. And, of course, against the Chiefs, it would be a rematch of Super Bowl 54, which they lost. So, there you go. 2 awesome rematches. Now, number 7, this is one I'm actually kind of happy I put on here again. As I put this one on here a couple of years ago. It's actually the Buffalo Bills versus the Philadelphia Eagles. You're probably wondering why I put them there, aren't you? Well, believe it or not. Oh, actually, that reminds me, regarding the Steelers versus the field, both the Steelers and the Eagles are 7th seeds. So it would be the least likely Super Bowl to happen too. So that's another reason why number 11 is so vast and great as it is. Anyway, so number 7, Bills versus the Eagles. Well, believe it or not, the Buffalo Bills went to 4 straight Super Bowls and they lost all of them. Every single one of those Super Bowls was against an NFC East team. 1 against the Giants, 2 against the Cowboys, and 1 against the Washington football team. I almost called them by that name. I'm not doing that. They've never played the Eagles in the Super Bowl. So if the Eagles were to play the Bills in the Super Bowl, the narrative would be, could the Eagles keep that NFC East streak against the Bills alive in the Super Bowl? Or would the Bills not only beat an NFC East team in the Super Bowl, but win the Super Bowl outright? That'd be very interesting to think about, wouldn't it? Okay, so number 6 is actually something you never would have expected unless I were to explain it here, which I will. It's the Las Vegas Raiders versus the San Francisco 49ers. For those of you who don't know, the Raiders are a team that have traveled around a lot over the years, mostly in Oakland and Los Angeles. But we're going to focus on the former for a second because Oakland is pretty much in San Francisco are referred to as what's called the Bay Area in California. So basically, if it was the Las Vegas Raiders versus the San Francisco 49ers, it would be the Bay Area Super Bowl we never got. And it could happen. I do believe they are both 6 seeds, so it works. Now, number 5, we get to the Patriots versus either the Eagles or the Rams. Now, with the Rams, it's pretty obvious. The Patriots have beaten the Rams in the Super Bowl twice, in Super Bowl 36 and Super Bowl 53. But the Eagles have beaten the Patriots in Super Bowl 52, but they lost way back in Super Bowl 39. I want to say that was Tom Brady's 2nd Super Bowl. So whether it's the Patriots against the Eagles or the Rams, you're either going to get a game that's literally a tiebreaker, or you're finally going to get a game like, can the Rams finally beat the Patriots? We don't know. We'll have to see. See, this is generating hype and making you think, isn't it? Okay. Number 4. Okay. Number 4, I got to take you back a couple of years to Patrick Mahomes' rookie year. Actually, it was a sophomore year, technically. But his first year. Oh, it was technically a sophomore year, but, when he was first quarterback of the Chiefs. He won the MVP. A game that almost cost him the MVP, though, was losing one particular game. And that was against the Rams. Both teams at the time were easily considered the best in the league. In fact, a lot of people were considering a Rams-Chiefs Super Bowl at that time. And I was actually after. I thought it was going to be Rams and Chiefs. It wound up being Rams and Patriots, thanks to the no call and Tom Brady and the ball in overtime. But semantics. That year, the Rams and the Chiefs faced each other and was argued as the greatest Monday Night Football game in the history of the NFL. I believe the final score was 51-54. I need to look this up for a second. Hold on. Chiefs, Rams, Monday night. Okay, yes, it was 54-51. I was right. It is arguably considered to be the greatest Monday Night Football game ever. And what if you got that matchup in the Super Bowl? Plus, you would get Patrick Mahomes versus Matthew Stafford. That would make for a very interesting matchup. Speaking of matchups and rematches, it's nothing but rematches from here on out. Spoiler alert. So, number 3, listen, I'm a Cowboys fan. You knew I was going to put this on there. And I live in upstate New York, so you knew I also had to put this on here as well. So, my number 3, the Bills versus the Cowboys. For those of you who don't know, I mentioned earlier that the Bills lost 4 Super Bowls in a row, and 2 of them were to the Cowboys. Super Bowl 27 and Super Bowl 28. Come on, that one. The hype for that one generates itself. You kidding me? I'd almost want to get tickets to the game. It's so awesome. Oh, but and again, Josh Allen versus Dak Prescott. All right, I'll watch that. And Dak guy back, and for Josh, he'll put the kibosh. I guess. That made no sense at all. I'm so sorry. Now, number 2, this is hard because number 1 was easy for me to do. Literally the one I just talked about, which is the Bills and Cowboys, and what's at number 2, it was a toss-up. But for me, what I have at number 2 just comes down to a heartbreak finish for one and a heartwarming finish for another. My number 2 is the Tennessee Titans versus the Los Angeles Rams. For those of you who don't know, this would be a rematch of Super Bowl 34. The Rams are actually ahead, but the Titans had an opportunity to score. And the guy ran the ball and was tackled with 1 yard left to go. The Tennessee Titans lost that Super Bowl by 1 yard. What more do I need to say? If the Titans were to face the Rams in the Super Bowl, would 1 yard make all the difference? I don't know. But it's something to think about, isn't it? Now, my number 1, sadly I did have to group together again. But really this was because there's no way I really could pick one over the other. Plus, one team is clearly facing against a particular field here. So I had to include it. So my number 1 is the Kansas City Chiefs versus either the Green Bay Packers or the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Now, against the Green Bay Packers, this would be a rematch of Super Bowl I, the very first Super Bowl, which the Chiefs lost. Not to mention, it's Patrick Mahomes versus Aaron Rodgers. All the State Farm commercials you see them do together and stuff? Come on. The State Farm commercial would clearly write itself. There'd be so much media hype behind that, you wouldn't know what to do with this. It'd be insane. And outright entertaining. Now, for those of you who may have been in a coma for the last year, the Kansas City Chiefs lost to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers literally a year ago in Super Bowl 55. And again, it's Tom Brady versus Patrick Mahomes. We get that Super Bowl again for a rematch. And, not to mention, with all the improvements Kansas City made in the offseason and during this season, and the fact that when the Bucs are healthy, they have all their starters from last year, This was the matchup that literally everyone was predicting from the very beginning. And I had to put it here too. So, yes. So, in reverse order, number 11, the Steelers versus the field. Number 10, the Raiders versus the Eagles, the Bucks, or the Pack. Number 9, the Titans versus the Packers. The 8, the Bengals or the Chiefs against the 49ers. Number 7, the Bills versus the Eagles. Number 6, the Raiders versus the Niners. Number 5, the Patriots versus the Eagles or the Rams. Number 4, the Chiefs versus the Rams. Number 3, the Bills versus my Dallas Cowboys. Number 2, the Titans versus the Rams. And number 1, the Chiefs versus either the Packers or the Buccaneers. So those are my top 11 picks. Ready to go. There was no way I was going to fit this on a notepad. That's why I have it on my laptop right here. And who knows? I very well could have picked either one of these to be in this year's Super Bowl. Am I going to be happy if I get it right? Oh, yeah. Sure. But honestly, I just thought, what's going to generate hype? What's going to be fun to watch? What's going to be entertaining? And I just went on my heart with this one. So I hope you enjoyed. Like, favorite, check the subscribe button, follow me on subscribe for videos on YouTube. I'm very happy with this video for all you guys who watch. Enjoy for today. Hopefully you have a wonderful, wonderful Saturday. And remember, you guys want to talk channels, we're here to lend you guys way back. Take care and make good choices. See ya. Now I probably should think, who do I want to win the Super Bowl this year? I mean, obviously there are my Cowboys I'd like to win. I wouldn't see Buffalo win it too. You know what? I think I've decided who I want to have as my Super pick. My Super pick is going to be